Hey guys, quick editor's note real quick. This video is not going to be including benchmarks because the PC that you're going to be seeing went directly to the person who was going to get it. We basically built a PC for him, gave it to him, and really didn't have to benchmark. It got really late with the build, and we just had no time to finish it. So if you want to see some benchmarks of a GTX 1080 and i7 8700K PC, I'll leave some links to some other creators in the description down below who have builds which pretty much similar spec you can expect within the same percentage performance. So if you're interested in that, link in the description down below, and I hope you guys enjoy.
How's it going, guys? Matt and Jackson here with the Toaster Bros, and today we're going to be showing you guys the $1,300 gaming PC.
Let's get right into it, shall we?
OPC delivers a great gaming chair at a competitive price compared to the mainstream brands. With multiple color options to choose from, there is bound to be a perfect match for your setup. Jackson uses one daily with his setup, and so should you. Check the link down below to learn more and pick one up today.
Alright guys, so the CPU for this build is the Intel Core i7 8700K, which is arguably one of the best gaming CPUs on the market. With 6 cores and 12 threads, and can even be overclocked up to 5 GHz, this thing is really good, especially for a build that's mainly focused around gaming. And for the motherboard for the CPU, we have the Aorus H370 Gaming 3 Wi-Fi, which is a gigabyte motherboard, but Aorus is their gaming lineup. But it's a really cool motherboard because it has the orange accents, which fits the case, which we'll get more into in just a minute. But it has a black and orange color scheme, and we actually got it at a pretty decent deal, under $100, around $100, and it was a really good motherboard for this build because, again, the orange accents, and will overclock the CPU very well. For a high-end build, you just have to get RGB memory, and this right here is no exception. This is the Viper RGB 16GB kit, 3200 MHz memory, has RGB LEDs. We could probably program this to be orange, which would make more sense in this build, and it has, well, a high enough frequency for the i7 8700K, which isn't as important with Intel, but it is still cool to have 3200 MHz memory, and 60 gigs of RAM is more than enough for gaming.
And for the graphics card, we have the 1080 Amp Edition. So it does have a little bit of yellow on the back, but that's not a huge deal because it has programmable RGBs on it. Honestly, there's not a game that you can throw at this that it's not going to run perfectly fine. And for the boot drive, we have a 250 gig 860 EVO drive, and then for the main storage drive, we're going to have a Western Digital Blue 1 terabyte drive.
And big special thanks to BeQuiet for sending over the case, cooler, and power supply for this build. I'll let Jackson talk about the power supply real quick.
So right here we have an 80 plus gold certified 1000 watt modular power supply.
It's really more power than he really needs for this build, as you most likely can tell. This stuff isn't going to pull a lot of wattage, but it's a 1000 watt power supply. BeQuiet was nice enough to send it over, and might as well give him a nice little upgrade. And as for the cooler, they sent over their Dark Rock Pro 4, which is a really beefy air cooler, and it's going to look really cool inside the case that they sent over. You might be able to see it in the corner over here. We're going to go over it a little bit more in just a second, but this thing is rated for up to 250 watt TDP CPUs, which will be nice for getting this thing overclocked to pretty much its limits if you want to do that, which most likely we will, and be able to get the most performance that you can out of this 8700K. And this is an upgraded version of their other coolers, so it's much easier to install compared to older versions. That was a big complaint with BeQuiet coolers with the Dark Rock Pro 3, so this one right here is much easier to install, and we'll show you that throughout the build. And this is the massive case that they sent over, the Dark Base Pro 900 Revision 2, with its orange accents, and pretty much just screams a BeQuiet case with all its insulation inside. This tempered glass side panel, it came with a wireless Qi charger for your phone up here. There's an opening right here for, well, all your hard drive bays. If I can figure out how to open it, you push it and it opens. And inside here you have your fan filters, your front drive bays. There's a lot of stuff with this case that we'll go over throughout the build, and at the end we'll talk about the pros and cons of the case and give you a breakdown of it. But this is a very premium case, and we're excited to build in it. So how about we just get right into the build? Shout out to the BeQuiet screwdriver included with this kit. You know?
Like, talk about, be like, I'm gonna start buying BeQuiet tools.
I'm gonna buy BeQuiet tools for the rest of my life.
So we hope you guys enjoyed this video. Obviously go check out BeQuiet's website, and huge thanks to them for throwing us this awesome case and this awesome cooler and the 1000 watt power supply that was way overkill, but of course leaves for crazy potential in the future. So this build is incredibly quiet thanks to the case and the really silent fans that they include. There's actually a bunch of fans in here, but you really can't tell. The RGBs that they included with the case are very cool. We have them just set to orange, and then we have the motherboard also set to orange, and the Viper RAM is like a multicolored gradient of orange that pulses on and off. And then the Zotac Loto is kind of like a reddish orange, the closest I can get it to orange. But the 1080 looks really good in there. The gigantic BeQuiet air cooler is keeping everything really cool and looks really good. So overall, the build looks great. It sounds great because there's no sound to it, and this thing's gonna play any games that you could throw at it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and as always, like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you guys later.